Hi, today we'll cover ECS, Amazon Elastic Container Service. Let's now talk about what that is. We'll not go in detail because it contains several components that an individual is supposed to go through and read before they deploy the cluster. And but just for your knowledge, I have opened three articles from AWS official website that clearly explains what Amazon Elastic Container Service is. So, as they say, it is nothing but the fully managed containers orchestration service that helps you easily deploy, manage, and scale containerized applications. So, if you already have the application or you like to deploy an application with the help of container orchestration service, that ECS is the best service that AWS offers, and you can make a full utilization of it in order to deploy an application. So before go ahead and do the basic setup, what all you need to understand is what task definition is. So it is again nothing but a text file in JSON format that describes the parameters and one or more containers that form your application. So that JSON format or the JSON file would have all the configurations that your application is basically set up with. And last but not the least, ECS service, which will help you to run and maintain a specified number of instances of task definition simultaneously in an Amazon ECS cluster. So it will help you maintaining the availability of the application and these instances. And if one of your tasks fails or stops, like it says here, the Amazon ECS service scheduler launches another instance of a task. So how it will be done, we'll cover that as well. So I would suggest you to go through all these articles from AWS, and let's do the basic setup now. And I'll also uh, try to cover how we can integrate this with ALB. And if I won't have time, then I'll cover it in my next video. So let's now start the basic setup. So we won't go ahead and create cluster for now. We'll go to task definition and let's see what that is. We'll create new task definition. We'll put some name here. Let's say Chunkus task definition. And launch type will be AWS Fargate serverless compute for containers. You have the option to go ahead and choose AWS EC2 instance, but will not go and choose AWS EC2 instance as I would let the configuration allow to spin up EC2 instance as and when required by an application. So I'll keep the default settings here. AWS VPC Linux instance it would be, and these are the configurations because we won't do much from the application side, but we'll cover how the application can be deployed from infrastructure point of view. So memory would remain same. Task role is none. It will create new task role. So let's leave it like this. And then this is the container one. So where your let's put Nginx for an example. So where you would that's the container image name, and the reason I put Nginx, you can also choose any other container name and image as per your choice. But I chose Nginx to display the Nginx page once the application is set up and running on the um, cluster. So I'll keep most of the settings as is. I'll say yeah, just port mapping. I'll have it running on port 80. Let's do it port 8080. Container port will be I'm sorry, port name. It is that I'll say that Shankus, that is all. So I'll choose this container port 80 with this protocol, and I'll let the application open on the browser on port 80. Okay, I'll keep most of the settings as is. I will not configure log collection for now, but these are the components you can configure. Well, I'll keep it default. I will not choose any optional parameters here. So I'll keep it like this. Since this is a basic setup. So if you get to know what all how you can set it up, you can come back and configure all of these settings based on the requirement. So I'll choose create here. Oh, okay. Let me do this. Jenkins container. Okay, I'll keep everything as is. Say create. So it has been created. It is asking me to create service, but I will not for now. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and come back to cluster. I'll choose create cluster, cluster name Jenkins demo cluster. Default namespace would be the same. So like I said, I'll choose the AWS Fargate here, the serverless method for having the application deployed. I will not choose any EC2 instance, although you can choose if your requirement meets, or if this is the hard and requirement from the client itself. I'll choose create. It is being created. So let's see what it says in cloud formation. You can quickly check meanwhile what how what if it is like, maybe it might get failed somewhere in between. So we should be aware of what is the reason behind the failure. So I'll say I'll keep refreshing it. Let's say it is in progress. Let's go to the resource. This is the demo cluster. It's being created here, the resource and the events. It will keep you updated what's going on. It's create complete. That means the creation is complete. We have the cluster available now, but it says no tasks running and there is no service as well. And since though nothing is there, so no EC2 or the container instances are running as well. So let's go into the cluster. We don't have the service at this point. We can create the service. However, I'll first go ahead and choose the create run new task. And the reason being, I'll have since I have created a task definition, so this task will be executed based on what we have configured in the task definition. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the basic setup here as well. Everything should remain same. Let's say launch type. I'll say Fargate. Okay, and I'll choose the platform version as latest. And since we are creating tasks, so I'll keep this as is. And this is what you need to choose here, the family task definition family. So it is currently mapped with that particular task definition. So if you don't have the task definition created, if you come here and create tasks again, you need to go to task definition and create it. So that's the reason we created it at first place, and then we are here to complete the setup. Desired task, I'll choose two, just to be on safer side. If one goes down, then uh, it'll help to maintain the availability, like I said. Task group, I'll keep the most of these settings as is. VPC should be default. Nothing specific here. There is nothing we need to choose. We'll keep it default. I'll keep the public IP turned on because we are not deploying anything into the private one. So I've kept it public. Okay, and these are the setup you can further do, but I will not do it for now. I'll choose the default roles as well. So I'll hit create. So there are two tasks launched since we mentioned to have two desired container instances. So these are the two tasks running. Both belong to the same task definition family. The current status it shows as provisioning. And let's now move here. I will not go ahead and do the setup. I'll keep the task as I'll keep a watch on the task until it becomes running. Okay, it is now running, I believe. Let's go ahead and come here and create a service. Okay, launch type. Okay, fine. We'll now select service here, and like it has all the definition what it does. So it is launch group of tasks handling a long running computing work that can be stopped and restarted. So for example, web application. So this is nothing but what you define here. Um, uh, what you define here, it will help you to have the application running based on the task definition you have chosen earlier. So again, it is asking for the task definition. We'll choose this service name. I'll say demo service, and I will say replica. Deployment options are there. Desired task, again, it is asking the desired task. I'll again say two. So it has two deployment types. One is rolling update, another one is blue green deployment. So these are the very important topics even for the you know studies and the certification topics that you are studying or trying to cover. So I would suggest you or recommend you to go through the deployment types. What's the difference between these two, right? So blue green is the very popular and the preferred one. However, we'll go ahead and keep the rolling update for now as the default one. So nothing I'll do here. There is an option of load balancing. We'll come back and choose the load balancer here as well. Application load balancer. I can create it now, but I will uh, be back and create it again. So I just would like you to have a look how the application can be set up. So I will not choose the load balancer for now. I'll go ahead and remove it, and that's the optional one. So I have not chosen it. Let's create service. Oh, I would keep it revert the change. Hit create. So now deployment, the demo service deployment is in progress. That means the application is being now deployed using the task definitions, and it will help maintaining the desired tasks as well, since we have kept the desired capacity as two. So I'm sorry. Let's say have a look here in the cloud formation again. So it says create in progress. There is another ECS console v2 service is being created here. Let's see if it fails somewhere. We'll come back here in resources. It says ECS service is being deployed. I don't have the output for now. I did not configure it in a way, but let's see what else we can do here. So this is like a basic setup, and you can do the customizations as per your requirement. However, if you are new, you should go through this video. You'll get to know the idea around how you can set up if any requirement comes to you. And since you are new, you have no idea, so you can get an idea following these steps. Let's see if it still says create in progress. So meanwhile, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and come here, EC2 instance. There's nothing. So ECS services is still being created. I'm sorry. Hence the task definition that we, if you remember the task definition we have chosen earlier, that was Nginx. So we should be able to view Nginx. So it is active. However, two of the two tasks is running, but the deployment still is in progress. It hasn't been completed yet. Although the demo service is active, but this cloud formation stack is not yet completed. So I would request you to just be patient with me. I'll keep refreshing it. Okay, now it says complete. So if I come back here, if I scroll it down, it says completed. So what this service has, let's have a look. This is the health and metrics. If I go here task, so there must be two tasks running, right? And if I come scroll down, so the container that we have chosen, it's Nginx. So Nginx should be up. If I go here, this is a task, and if I go into the deployment, you would get to know what all has happened and what's the status. So everything looks fine. Configuration and networking. From here, you can get the details of what service role we have chosen. You can also, customize and set the permissions, minimize the permissions as per the requirement. So these are the basic setup, like I said. Now I'll come back to EC2 instance again. Instances, we don't have any, right? Now if I go here in clusters, tasks, if I open this public IP, see, we have chosen the launch type Fargate, so there was nothing as EC2 instance. So that's the reason you are not able to have the EC2 instance listed. So if you would have chosen EC2 instance, it would be listed here. So we have chosen Fargate, so it would be container IP that you would be opening. Let's see, it is, I have entered it. However, see, we have got the welcome to Nginx page, right? So Nginx web server is successfully installed and working, and likewise you can do it for others. If you like to have the Apache Tomcat, you can choose that. So these are the uh, steps you can do. It also gives the private IP. However, we have since configured and turned on the public IP, so we're trying to browse it like this only. So if what if you stop this task or stop this service, let's go ahead and do it. I'll come here. Okay, I'll say just stop all these four tasks. Stop all. Has stopped all four tasks. Now we'll wait for a minute. It has now zero task, and if you refresh this page, it would be gone. There would be nothing in here, right? And now if I come here, refresh it, it is again now has come back to 2 by 2 running. The reason being, if you remember, we have chosen the desired task as 2. So 2 tasks will always be running, and it will have the application set up or installed because we have configured that in task definition. So these are the basic steps. If you have seen, if you have observed, we first configured task definition where we configured the app related stuff. Then we came back here and configure task, how many tasks should be there, and services helped us to maintain and run these tasks as desired, as its desired value. So if I open any of them, like if I open this, and now since it has nothing, the previous IP, I'll come back here. I'm sorry, I'll come back here, open this one, it will have engines page. And if I go ahead and go to the another task that is listed, that must have the different IP. If I click this, so this has 65.0.116. It has the engines page, and it has also have engines page. So do you see the difference? Okay. Now in an enterprise level, what you do is, you from the end user perspective, when they hit the web app, they won't be hitting the service directly or the IP directly, container IP. They would be hitting the front end setup. That is nothing but, from the AWS point of view, it is load balancer. The application load balancer would be the front end application for the end user. So how you can configure and integrate it, we can we can cover that topic in next video. I think it's every it's long video now, so I'll try to cover that in my next video, how you can integrate and cover it, and how you can allow your load balancer to open this page, engines page. Okay, for now I wish you all the best. Just try to do this demo on your own, or on personal account, or anywhere you want. Make sure you terminate every other thing that you're using. It will incur cost, and you'll have to pay the necessary charges for that. Okay, thanks again for watching.